Welcome to AI Evening News. Tonight, SpaceX acquires Cursor for $60 billion, ChatGPT loses its majority, and GitHub calls Amazon for backup, ending with a $7 billion bet where investors get no say. Next, the second half of today's topics. SpaceX just signed a $60 billion all-stock deal to buy Cursor, the AI coding tool that now generates $2.6 billion a year. The deal comes days after SpaceX's record NASDAQ debut, and the stock represents roughly 3.4% dilution at IPO valuation. SpaceX merged with Elon Musk's AI startup xAI earlier this year, and the combined company confirmed it has been jointly training a model with Cursor for months, pairing xAI's Colossus supercomputers with Cursor's developer distribution. Back in April, the company had already secured an option to buy Cursor at this price or enter a smaller partnership for $10 billion. Cursor's annual revenue exploded from $100 million in early 2025 to over $2.6 billion today, attracting Fortune 500 clients along the way. When a rocket company pays $60 billion for a code editor, the AI coding war just entered a new orbit. Data-driven, matter-of-fact, the three-way race is the closer. For the first time since its launch, ChatGPT's market share has dropped below 46.4% by the end of May, down from 81% just 2 years ago. Google's Gemini surged to 27.7%, driven by deep integration with its app ecosystem. Anthropic's Claude climbed to 10.3% globally and 14% in the United States, and it now earns more revenue per user than ChatGPT does. ChatGPT still leads in raw users with over 1.1 billion monthly actives, but the gap is closing fast. The AI assistant market just went from one winner to a three-way race. DeepSeek just closed its first ever outside funding round at over $7.4 billion, valuing the company above $50 billion. But the deal structure is unlike anything in AI. Outside investors' money flows into a limited partnership controlled by founder Liang Wenfeng, giving them economic rights but no voting power and no board seats. They also face a 5-year lockup on their shares. Liang himself put in about $2.8 billion of personal capital, and backers include Tencent, CATL, JD, and NetEase. The one exception is China's state-backed AI investment fund, which received direct equity and voting rights. When a startup can raise $7 billion and hand investors the check but not the steering wheel, that says everything about the power balance in AI right now. Forward-looking, the $60 billion timing is the reveal. Cursor just announced Origin, a code hosting and Git platform designed to compete directly with GitHub. The move follows its acquisition of Graphite, whose team built Origin as an agent-native forge, assuming dozens of AI agents will be cloning, branching, and reviewing code in parallel. Origin supports API and MCP extensions and ships with built-in agents for resolving merge conflicts and collaboration failures. The timing is striking. This announcement lands the same day we learned SpaceX is buying Cursor for $60 billion, suggesting Origin was part of the pitch. Cursor is no longer just a code editor. It is building the entire AI developer stack, from writing to hosting. Origin is expected this fall, with a waitlist now open. Microsoft just confirmed it is routing GitHub traffic through Amazon Web Services, its biggest cloud rival, after AI coding agents overwhelmed the platform. Pull requests from AI agents surged 325% in 6 months, and GitHub is on pace for 14 billion commits this year compared to 1 billion last year. Availability dropped to roughly 88% in June after 9 incidents in May alone, well below enterprise SLA thresholds. The move derails Microsoft's plan to migrate GitHub fully to Azure by 2027 and exposes a capacity bottleneck even Azure cannot fill fast enough. GitHub's design target has jumped from 10 times to 30 times current load. When even Microsoft has to call Amazon for help, the agent era is outrunning everyone's infrastructure. Chinese AI lab Zhipu just open-sourced GLM 5.2, a 744 billion parameter mixture of experts model with 40 billion active at a time. Its standout feature is a genuinely usable 128,000 tokens of output, purpose-built for long coding agent sessions. The model is MIT licensed, meaning anyone can use it commercially, and it already works as a drop-in backend for Claude Code, Klein, and similar tools. Jipu claims it tops the Code Arena blind leaderboard and surpasses Opus on select real-world tests, though independent benchmarks are still pending. The release came 2 days after the US tightened AI export controls, making it an explicit answer to restricted model access. Whether the claims hold up or not, a fully open frontier model at this scale shifts what developers can run without paying per token. Forward-looking with a nod to sovereignty, Mistral AI CEO Arthur Mensch just teased a brand new model family arriving this summer. He described the first model as fat but sparse, suggesting a massive mixture of experts architecture in line with the company's track record. The model and all successors will be open weight, reinforcing Mistral's positioning as the leading open alternative to US hyperscalers. An early access program opens in July for research institutions, governments, and key industry partners. Mistral also emphasized sovereign deployment. Its Studio and Forge tools can run on customer premises or in facilities outside US cloud provider control. The company is targeting €1 billion in 2026 revenue, up from $200 million last year, with an IPO on the roadmap. Anthropic just published the largest study of agentic coding in real-world use, analyzing roughly 400,000 Claude code sessions from 235,000 people. The headline finding? Humans handle the planning, and Claude handles the execution. And the economic value of agent coding tasks grew 27% over 7 months. More surprising? Domain expertise, not programming skill, is what determines success. Non-software professionals now complete coding tasks at nearly the same rate as professional engineers. The report suggests that knowing what to build matters more than knowing how to code, because the agent handles the how. If that pattern holds, the people who benefit most from AI coding tools are not engineers. They are the domain experts who could never code before. Appreciative of the tech, the conversion stat is the closer. Cartesia just shipped 2 models that together form a complete real-time voice stack, Sonic 3.5 for text-to-speech and Ink 2 for speech-to-text. Both rank first on artificial analysis streaming leaderboards, making Cartesia the only provider with the top model on both sides. Sonic 3.5 delivers speech in under 90 milliseconds with built-in turn detection and adds step-change improvements in Japanese, Korean, Hebrew, and several other languages. Ink 2 matches it with semantic endpointing that works even in noisy environments. The architecture underneath is state space models, not transformers, which is how they hit the latency floor. One early customer reported a nearly 3% lift in conversion after switching, which for voice agents at scale is real money. Consumer-friendly, breezy. Features move fast. Google just started rolling out Android 17 and Wear OS 7 to Pixel devices, packed with AI features that touch music, video, and emergencies. The headline edition is Lyria 3, which generates music from text prompts or images right inside the Gemini app on any supported Pixel. Gemini Omni is also arriving, letting users edit videos through conversation for the first time on device. The June Pixel drop adds bubbles for floating app windows and screen reactions for richer recording. On the wrist, Wear OS 7 brings car crash, fall, and pulse detection with automatic emergency contact. QuickShare will also work with Apple AirDrop on older Pixel phones, a small but overdue bridge between ecosystems. OpenAI just published a method called deployment simulation that lets it predict how a new model will misbehave before it ships. The process takes de-identified historical conversations and reruns them through the new model, checking for harmful or misaligned responses at scale. In a study of 1.3 million conversations across the GPT-5 series, the method predicted real-world failure rates with a median error of just 1.5 times. It also caught new alignment issues like calculator hacking before deployment. A companion blog from OpenAI's alignment team showed that external researchers can replicate the method using a publicly available chat corpus, though with roughly 3 times the error. The approach is weaker on agent workflows involving tool calls, which is where the hardest failures tend to hide. Data-rich, the 2 game's framing is the close. Artificial Analysis released version 4.1 of its intelligence index, and the biggest change is the shift toward agentic workloads. The new suite includes 9 benchmarks like terminal tasks, scientific code, and banking agents, dropping the saturated IF bench. At the top, Claude Opus 4.8 scores 56, making it the most intelligent available model by this measure. But the cost chart tells a different story. DeepSeek V4 Pro completes a task for 4 cents, compared to Opus's $1.78, making it up to 86 times cheaper. The open-weight leaderboard is now a tight race, with DeepSeek, Minimax, and Kimi within 1 point of each other at 44, 44, and 43. Best answer or best math? The AI market is splitting into 2 games. If today's signal was useful, subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's briefing.